Hey guys, Tyrip here, bringing you a 1v1 today. We are on Haaallow Fields. Playing today spawning in the north. We have Imbbe playing as COH2, straight away going for Scavenge. Face offensive in the bottom. We have Haaallow playing as US Forces, straight away going for Airborne. Pathfinder second for Haaallow there. In terms of rankings, Imbbe around rank 170, Haaallow around rank 150. It's a pretty even matchup between these two. Feels like it's been a while since I've cast a 1v1. Nice to get back in the saddle. So no early aggression from the Stern Pioneers. Generally I do like going aggressive oftentimes against USF and Soviets in the early game, just because the starting matchup is so good. Stern Pios versus rear echelon, so much in the favour of the OKW player. The more passive start for Imbbe. Nice sandbags on the cutoff here. Good pressure. Finder's about to get 2-on-1'd over here. Rifleman staying on top of the fuel point. Finder's doing their best to snipe off one model. Lose one themselves though.
A capture point is being overrun.
And yeah, truck coming out for Imbbe. Just buying a bit of time. Looks like it's going to be pretty standard stuff. 3 folks into the Jaeger Light Infantry squad. 2-on-1 up here. Echelon holding out for a touch longer. And also stalling on this position. Focusing down the Stern Pios.
You've got a captain hitting the field.
Oh, and it's captain from Haaallow. Okay, interesting choice. The lights can now be brought in by Imbbe. With the tech truck coming up out the back. Pretty good timings on all this stuff as well. Both players, so sharp game from them both so far. Sandbags on the fuel as well. Imagine probably going to get one down on the VP next. We do have a couple of squads coming out to this side, interrupting the sandbag. Stern Pios forced away by the Pathfinders as well. Our squad should allow an easy victory for Haaallow over here. Closing in.
Air supply of field ordnance is available.
So this squad might be hidden behind the fence. No. Soft retreating them though. Okay, interesting choice. Captain wants to stay on the fuel point, so might be able to get some easy territory. And we do have the Jaeger Lights coming in. Pathfinders can see that squad behind the heavy cover there. Can't really charge in against them head on, so we're going to look for the cutoff perhaps instead. Good choice. Got a wire off on the sandbags, also nice to see. And already wired off these sandbags. So maybe not. Maybe that is good. Didn't quite manage to get the sandbags down here in time. Maybe if it was like a full 5 models, but 3 construction rate was a little bit too slow. Charging backwards to try and pick off the Folks Grenadiers back here. Stern Pios closing the distance. Now they spin around. Come down a bit to these Pathfinder snipes. Looks like they got 1 or 2 there as well, so in a good position to win the engagement after that. Jaeger Light's now coming onto this cutoff. Not going to be cutting off a huge amount at the moment, but it looks like the Pathfinders are going to cap the fuel down there. So, ooh, might work out. Wow.
Frontline units are being hung out to dry.
I feel like that was a pretty good volley of shots from Imbbe there.
Heavy machine gun team ready for
Pathfinders to get the neutralized before getting out of there.
Sector has been
You guys pop the G43 on their retreat as well. Could maybe pick off a model here. Yeah, there goes one.
Now available to frontline troops.
And a half-track in the works for Haaallow. Maybe a tiny bit slower than we sometimes see, but there has been quite a lot of decapping going on both sides and cut-off maneuvers. Slowing down the fuel for both players so far. Imbbe, though, going for the machine gun maybe indicates he's not going to end up going for the flak half-track. Probably would have gone for that instead of that timing. Lights switching across. We've got a squad about to come in on the rear of the rear echelons. And a bunch more troops coming in here from Imbbe, looking to set up an overwhelming force. At the moment, Haaallow with still some pretty good territory control in spite of having lost that squad. Let's see if he can continue that pressure. The arrival of the AA half-track. He does have enough manpower for a Rakitten already though, so in a reasonable position. He's got mechanized upgraded there as well. There's the medics. Tractor slowly working away at long range. No weapon racks yet from Haaallow. He has gone for Airborne, so, you know, can drop in those 50 cals later on if that's what he needs. 50 cals often maybe not quite as good against Jaeger Lights, since they have such long line of sight. It can be quite easy for the OKW player to avoid running into the 50 cals with them. And only one Jaeger Light for Imbbe. You know, you've probably seen quite a lot of my first-person view games lately where I've been playing OKW Scavenge. And personally, I've been more favouring double Jaeger Lights and skipping the machine gun. Yeah, I just find that extra sight from having two squads very, very beneficial. Also makes it very easy to position your Rakitten with that extra sight from the Jaeger Lights. So that's what I'm more of a fan of. Plus these days, you know, like, there's quite a lot of players, you know, gone with the Zis, you know. Not for this matchup specifically. Oh. Hold on. Ooh, that was a very, very close call. But yeah, if you go for an MG34, then it's just kind of like a sitting duck for the Zis barrage. Because you might be able to avoid that a bit more. The Jaeger Lights, even though Jaeger Lights are probably better against USF and OKW than against Soviets. In that particular instance, it's nice. Nice against that Zis barrage. Well, we've got the paratroopers in for Haaallow. And dropping in a 50 cal now. Also have the M1919s coming through on those paratroopers. Just out of range at the moment though. And here come the Jaeger Lights. You don't really want to be going for these long range cover to cover fights against Jaeger Lights if possible. Getting now getting a little bit too close here, getting laser beamed down by those paras, and that's a very fast decrew. I don't know what Imbbe was up to there. Must have been a misclick. Now in some big trouble. They half-track spitting out the suppression Jaeger Lights, maybe briefly making a dash for that side against it. I mean, how can he even cap it there? He's got the paratroopers could just grenade whatever tries to pick it up as well. So, oh, that's really bad news for Imbbe after a good wipe on the Raftman early. Now falling quite far behind with that Rakitten positioning. And rebuild the Rakitten. Now when you're trying to go for these no light vehicle strategies as OKW battle group, I do quite like trying to get your tech out as fast as possible. In this particular instance, it's probably going to work out for Imbbe for the better that he didn't. So he has to rebuild the Rakitten, he needs the manpower, but you know, could have tech truck covering this cutoff area, perhaps and kind of buys you a zone of freedom against your opponent's light vehicle, which is often necessary. It can be hard to hold onto the map against the light vehicle pressure otherwise. So you really have to look for those opportunities to get your tier 4 tech up. He's gone for a second MG34 though.
Supply lines have been cut. Americans are making a push.
Does end up getting the suppression in now. Empire is coming in from the side. One thing we haven't seen from Imbbe at all is any mines. And we also don't have any sweepers for Haaallow, so kind of lucky for Haaallow in that regard. You know, when you're at this moment, 12 minutes in,
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
should have sweepers on your rear echelon by now. If you're using a light vehicle at least. Troopers trying to reinforce from the beacon, but they're staying pinned. Bit of a tough retreat path for them as well. The half track requiring repairs, and there we go, Haaallow. Being forced away. Oh, could even lose the pathfinders here. It's a pretty big OKW blob. Might be best to stop with the Jaeger lights for this last shot. No. Decal suppression kicks in. It's important to know, you know, with the Jaeger lights, their moving accuracy on their G43 is atrociously bad. So, if you want them to get those, you know, G43 snipe crits going, you know, once that last model was, you know, it was probably within the health range to get sniped by that crit. Stop with the Jaegers and hopefully that G43 will fire it off and get the kill for you. But yeah, I think they have like a 90% move accuracy penalty on that G43. Yeah, sniper G43 for the Jaeger lights, so yeah. it can hit, but odds are very low. Cow heading out to the far side. Nice to see some beacon utilization though from Haaallow. You know, I do think beacons are very, very strong. So he's got the micro to put them down. They're free, give you some good intel. You can reinforce your paratroopers from them. Very nice to use and can be quite annoying to fight against, honestly. Try and put them somewhere where players don't really walk past that often. You can still provide a lot of sight. Intel, at least. Maybe not directly sight. Oh boy, this could be a late retreat. That's a lot of troops. Imbbe though didn't go for any chase down. Was potential there to try to do some body blocking and look for the wipe. Didn't end up going for that. Spreading out now. He has got the tech down. And Flak Panzer could be produced. Still hasn't got Panzer authorization yet though, so the Panzer 4 would be a little bit further away. There's going to be the Flak Panzer.
Capture point is being overrun.
Major artillery coming down. We're hanging in. And here comes the Sherman now for Haaallow. So, you know, Imbbe, in spite of not spending any fuel on a light vehicle, hitting the medium tank timings at basically the exact same time. So, kind of showing maybe how Imbbe's struggling for territory control a bit because of that AA half track.
Taking one of our points.
Traction grenades out. Partial dodge. Might have been able to win that one, since he did have the STGs, but alright. Playing it safe. Oh! There goes the Raketen, and that's what I was talking about. The Jaeger lights with the long line of sight, spotting for the Raketen. And that's a half-track death. Here comes the Flak Panzer. Oh boy, Haaallow. Reacting now. Flak Panzer could get the wipe though. Going in for the chase down. We do have the Sherman on the field. Kitten has retreated. We do have the Shrek on the sternpires though. A bit of extra anti-tank. And Sherman not coming straight across. Not going straight for the protection on the 50 cal. Instead coming across to the cutoff area. And that's going to allow a steal on the 50 cal. Maybe a slight mistake on where that Sherman's coming out. We have a team weapon exchange here. We've got the Raketen on Haallow's side versus the 50 cal for Imbbe.
Is under attack.
But yeah, now triple machine guns for Imbbe, so that's going to be very tough for Haaallow to outposition. Kind of can lock down like one VP with each machine gun. Very hard to outmaneuver. Does have those pathfinders though with the extra line of sight. So they will be huge in mitigating machine guns. Can fire off some Sherman smoke as well. Oh, going to come forwards and do some damage. Still only one Raketen for Imbbe at the moment, so it's kind of good news for Haaallow in that regard. Doesn't have to worry about his Sherman going up in smoke immediately. He's going for some damage, kind of just damaging his own sandbags though. Not hitting too much on the paratroopers. So the Major wants to come in and get some artillery back here perhaps. Oh, where's this flak panzer going? Oh, that's a bit clumsy. Oh, but it backs around the corner in the nick of time. Sherman doesn't quite get the second shot off. That was a close call. A flank coming in here from Imbbe. Haaallow under a lot of pressure. He's got the Sherman back here, but he's got to worry about the Faust and the Shrek. Sherman has to be on its toes. And, losing quite a lot of territory at the moment for this overwhelming force. There we go, full retreat. Should get away alive with everything though. But very little territory control now for Haaallow. They have quite a lot of resources, very close to another tank. So that could maybe turn things around, but at the moment, struggle street. Turning over that 50 cal, quite painful. Now like a little bit lacking in infantry, you know, lost that rifle squad, so no snares available for Haaallow as well. Could cause some troubles going forwards. VP's quite far behind for Imbbe though, so Haaallow does have plenty of time to work with in that regard. Got the repairs coming in now. Do have the Volksgrenadier repair kits in this commander. Generally, you know, don't go for them early, but do get them once you kind of at this stage where you have enough munitions for the artillery if you need that. Good infiltration grenades out. A lot of damage. Opening up. Sherman so far has been on armor piercing, I think the whole time, right? So he hasn't really been punishing the infantry that hard. And you know, up against a flak panzer, you do have a little bit more freedom to switch over the HE rounds. You're not going to get caught out so badly like you would against perhaps the Panzer IV or the Panther. Artillery coming down over there, it looks like. Pushing through the centre. The lights going after the Raketen, trying to get the D crew, but they're getting cut down pretty quickly. Those paratroopers aren't messing around. Good concussive grenade though to secure the retreat. Come the double Raketens. Sherman's got to be careful. Oh, that's a big 1-2 punch. Should be able to get away alive. Raketen though a little bit too far forward. It's not really in the right position. Spins around. Got sight blocker here and shot blocker here. Can't do much with it from that position. Decides to retreat. Maybe not 100% necessary. With those two suppressed. Still was okay, but you're safe than sorry, I suppose. Third Raketen now from Imbbe. Might be a little bit overboard with what's on the field at the moment, but maybe expecting another tank, and there we go, late retreat with the paratroopers. Down they go now. But yeah, perhaps expecting that. Interesting choice here. Haaallow gonna go for the mortar.
Warning orders, gang. Pay attention this way.
Be a lot of Raketens, a lot of machine guns, team weapons up the wazoo for Imbbe. It can be very hard to deal with. If you do have a higher concentration of riflemen, like 2 or 3 squads, maybe a lieutenant, can be worth getting grenades checked. I feel like that's one of the main ways to deal with it is US forces. It's quite often you get a flank cooking where you're behind a team weapon, but you can't decrew it fast enough, and that's where the grenades really come in handy. It's the team weapon spam like this. And punish their out of position team weapons so much harder. Opens up a lot of opportunities, and you know, smoke grenades as well can also come in handy from time to time. But yeah, interesting choice. Gonna go for the mortar. Did go for captain, so could have got the Haaallow instead. But as I said, the mortar does have the smoke, which might be the difference maker. Damage onto the Sherman. Sherman's still being used on armor piercing, which just feels like a mistake at this stage. Should have the reads on 3 Raketens now, I believe. Makes it less likely that a tank's coming in for Imbbe. Yeah, a lot of missed damage, I would say, because it's never switched over to the high explosive rounds. 105 artillery hammering down. Oh, a little bit of repairs from the rear echelon. That's enough to keep the Sherman alive. Close call. Out from base. In the meantime, Flak Panzer doing some big damage. A lot of VP pressure on Haaallow at the moment, trying to cap on the side with the Major. And they will be able to do that. Do remember that this is up against the Flak Panzer, so the P-47s maybe not as valuable as they would usually be against AKW. Probably get shot down quite easily. Sherman though, Flak Pan's a little bit isolated. Raketen's a little bit too far away, and this is a big mistake, but Haaallow not punishing that. Getting cold feet, not taking the opportunity. Starting to back away after one shot. I suppose it doesn't really have any intel on where the Raketens are, but I think I'd probably just back myself. Sherman especially, you know, you can always throw out the smoke on your opponent's anti-tank guns like that. Gives you a little bit more room to do aggressive maneuvers and get away with them. That's something I don't think we've seen from Haaallow at all so far. I don't think we've seen a single Sherman smokescreen utilization. A good shot there from the Sherman though. Nearly gets the wipe because of it. Paratroopers softening them up. We've got the major artillery coming down. Sherman pushing in, but we've got still a lot of anti-tank guns here. And the Faust now on this also. Going away to safety.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Squad's coming in on the flank, trying to get around the side, but nice switching of the target. Oh man, risky repairs. Sherman does just get away with it though. Panzer coming back in. Raketen's there though. Connecting. And you know, this is feeding a lot of veterancy to Imbbe's Raketens. And once they hit Vet 2, once they get that reload bonus, that's when it's very hard to avoid losing your medium tanks to them. So even though Haaallow doing alright just now,
We're losing a capture point.
things can go wrong very, very easily because of that veterancy. Imbbe though is struggling a little bit for manpower. He's got a lot of troops. Looks like Haaallow going to go for a third Sherman. And once you get 3 of them, that's when things can really start popping off. Can be hard to control, but as I said, with like the smoke, can really get some aggressive maneuvers working. And Imbbe, oh wow, Volksgrenadier squad down. And no Sternpise at the moment for Imbbe. Or was that the Sternpise? I don't think so. I think that was the Fox. So repair's quite slow. Okay, getting Volksgrenadier repairs now. But they're overdue. So maybe this is a little bit of a turning point. And this is again where these Jagerlights come in handy, doing some long range spotting for the Raketans. In the corner. Sherman briefly think about pushing forwards, decides against it. Infiltration grenades, easy dodge with the captain though. And now that Raketan does end up getting decrewed. A little bit too aggressive with it. Got decrewed pretty fast, honestly. That captain hitting pretty hard. Raketan's a little bit further back though for Imbbe. Heavy pressure though. Haaallow trying to relieve it. 100 VPs behind at this stage. Oh wow, he's going to go for the mechanized truck. And just outright let that Raketan get destroyed there. So King Tiger stall for Imbbe. Oh, okay. Well, that's still quite a way off in terms of manpower. And yeah, having lost the and yet another Volksgrenadier, only has 1 squad for repairs. And that's going to give Haaallow a lot of time to make a comeback. I don't think I'd be letting off the gas pedal if I was Imbbe like this. But, you know, can just sit back on the team weapons, stall out. Probably will be on the loser's end in terms of map control. But should be able to hold on pretty nicely with the team weapons.
Air supply of field
That being said, only 1 squad with the snares. So it could be quite easy for these Raketans to get caught out of position by the triple Shermans. Gonna have to be very cautious with the positioning of them. Nice, that's what I was talking about. Pathfinder's long line of sight, allowing them to dodge around the side of the 50 cal there. Some easy territory. Attack round action coming out. Light's doing some long range spotting.
A capture point is under attack.
Our troopers getting in there though. Not revealing the Jaeger lights, which is a little bit strange.
Weapon rack is now open.
Getting coming all the way across here, maybe not necessary. Needs to keep them a little bit spread apart. You know, this is your only source of anti-tank. Having them clumped up together against 3 Shermans, you could easily get just completely overwhelmed and then consistently caught out of position. It might work out okay at the moment. Jaegerlight spotting long range. Sherman back here. And no real infantry support from this angle for Haaallow. Dropping the major RD on the Raketans though. Triple cap against Imbbe while he tries to save last 200 or so manpower for that KT. Comes a Sherman now charging forwards, double Raketans. looking to line up some shots. Only one Sherman doing this play though. He came forwards with at least a second. It'd be quite easy to get something going. Instead decided to disengage. And we do have the 50 cal on this VP again. Okay, Sherman charging forwards. Once again, smoke on these Raketans would go a very, very long way. Panzer making a bit of a move. Oh, Sherman coming in on the rear now. The Panzer's in some trouble. Needs to pop the blitz. Sherman avoiding the damage so far. Circling around those anti-tank guns. This is exactly what I was talking about. And there goes the Flak Panzer. And Raketan down. Another one extremely low. Here come the other Sherman. They were paired up. And they're ready to close out the show. Don't quite manage to decrew the other Raketan. That's the Vet 5 one as well, so one bit of good news for Imbbe. And here comes the King Tiger as well. Oh boy. Big damage from the Sherman. So yeah, an option like that has been available to Imbbe for a long time. I mean to Haaallow for a long time since that third Raketan got killed. No, like almost no snaring squads, no Sternpire Shreks. This is another good time for this smoke. Smoke's out, maybe a little bit too close to the Tiger though. It's pretty easy for it to charge through that. You don't need to be smoking like where you're reversing through. So this only blocks your sight for maybe like 2 seconds or so instead of much longer than that. Oh boy, that's a big chunk of damage from the KT. Here goes the stolen Raketan. And that KT has an immediate impact. One Sherman down, one Raketan down. It does have just about enough for a Jackson though, so that's some good news. Looks like the double Sherman. Maybe think about doing some aggressive plays coming in on the King Tiger's flank. This is again where Pathfinders can really come in handy, spotting long range, spotting the King Tiger. Otherwise, they're charging forwards with squads of infantry, trying to provide sight. King Tiger does bleed you very, very hard. Very easy to lose a game in that fashion as US forces. Which is where, you know, next patch the Major getting bonus sight and higher levels of veterancy is going to come in handy. Sight if you don't use Pathfinders. At the moment though, Haaallow with a good amount of territory control, and the Flak Panzer is dead, so P-47s should actually be very effective now.
We're losing a capture point.
Still have this Raketan decrewed over here. One was over here, got picked up by Haaallow though. Go for some attack round action onto the KT. KT hitting hard though on those paratroopers. Raketan returning fire through the shrubs. Have the Jackson out now. So I'd say just doesn't need to get too aggressive at the moment. Just wait until everything's in a nice position. The Pathfinder's there providing sight. Trying to go in with attacks that aren't very well set up. Very often fail against the King Tiger. Being said, you know, Imbbe at the moment. Only one Raketan, one snaring squad. Even a half-baked attack may work out. Just because he doesn't have enough defense, there's no mines down either. Artillery down in the center, so that's kind of denies the capture, but I don't think the VPs are that desperate that you need to be super worried about denying the cap at this stage. So the King Tiger is a higher priority for the munitions. It doesn't cost like a huge amount, but delays it by maybe 2 minutes. So yeah, now Now he can start getting things going. Incendiary grenades, that could be the end of the machine gun. Close. And there it goes.
Gun crew just got wiped out.
Panther now for Imbbe, so Haaallow. In a good defensive position at the moment, but once that Panther arrives, it's going to be much harder to deal with that. The bazookas on the rear echelon though, so that probably come in handy against the Panther, especially. Beacon's coming down now as well, also a very good idea. But yeah, that means that the Sherman tanks won't have such free reign to just do maneuvers exactly like this, come out to the flanks, chase away squads. Panther will be able to shut down those kind of plays. KT repaired up now. But now 2 tanks for Imbbe. Does have the repair upgrade on the mechanized truck, but 2 tanks, not much repairs. Could be a bit of a traffic jam. Long queues for repairs. Eagle Light's providing some real good size. KT pushing through the center, and that Sherman goes down extremely quickly. Panther pushing in now, going after the Jackson next. So you've got double kittens there, but Panther glides past, doesn't take too much damage. Now spinning around though, KT coming back in. Kittens spinning around again, but they haven't had much damage uptime so far. Jackson back all the way back, needs to come back in, even though it's low. And maybe if the King Tiger stayed in there, probably could have got the decrew on that Raketen at least. Perhaps a tiny bit too passively. Did Imbbe lose a machine gun though during that? I think so. Flak Panzer lasts. I still think I'll probably be building a Sternpire as Imbbe. Maybe with the Shrek upgrade as well. Like, you know, needs the repairs, but just kind of needs the capping power at the moment as well. Flak Panzer though might be quite handy against the Raketens. Do have the 105 artillery though that can force those to dodge and pack up, not be active during a big tank engagement.
Combat unit ready.
Comes the Flak Panzer, Panther repaired up.
Organize the assault.
Sherman coming in. Battle of the long line of sight units, Jaeger Lights and Pathfinders. Pathfinders with the bar now? Oh, 2. Double bars, okay. Not quite susceptible to dropping them though. Be careful, Jaeger Lights. Oh boy, that Flak Panzer came into the wrong neighborhood there. Looks like it will back away in time. We've got the 105 artillery dropping in this area. A lot of troops need to get out of there for Haaallow and just gotta hit the retreat button on a lot of them. KT coming back in now. The 3 Sherman in some trouble. Manages to back away behind the trees. Paratroopers though very low, could go down. Right. Some major artillery coming in over here on the Raketen. That could also fall, and a lot of damage now onto all 3 of these tanks with very little to repair them up with. Exactly what I was worried about.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Jumping on top of the VPs though is Imbbe, and needs to. Only 79 remaining. But overall, that was a pretty good hold for Haaallow. I don't think really lost too much. No squad wipes, just a few model drops. No tank losses. And now going for another Jackson that's going to be able to tame the armoured fleet of Imbbe quite easily. There's a lot of anti-tank now as well. Double Rocket Double Jackson's got the bazookas. It's going to give Imbbe a very, very tough time. I don't think we've seen any spearhead utilization so far from Imbbe either. It's one thing you really should be using on the KT once it vets up. Very strong ability. Getting over here in camo. Just out of range. Not spinning around either. Try and drop one of their bazookas. Guys trying to get the decap in the center. They're trying to buy some time for these repairs. Looks like they're repairing the flak panzer first, which is probably the least important. This is a bad repairing order. Could just, drive the flak panzer away so that it's not in range of the repairs to try and force it onto one of the other vehicles. And looks like Imbbe actually went for another Jaeger light squad. Which, the sight can be quite handy, but probably should have been the stern pose. Going for those now, but put himself in a bad position in the meantime. Could be an idea for this major to make a dash for this VP as well. He's got the passive sprint next to the veterancy. Very helpful as a capping squad. Haaallow not really extending that far, just camping out the VPs. 2v1 at the moment. Gonna go on to 4x speed here since not much is going on. Pathfinders in camo. Spotting these guys coming, allowing those mortar shells. Firing off some warning shots. Finally, the armor is repaired for Imbbe. He's making a play down the left-hand side. The Panther coming in on the rear. We do have one Raketen facing this direction though. Nothing to spot for it, however. The Panther stopping in front of it, allowing it to get multiple shots off. Double Jacksons. Turn to face the Panther. Sherman coming in now. They're all taking some big hits, rear armor hits as well. And it dies really fast. Good penetration luck there for Haaallow. Where's the King Tiger in all of this? Just out the back, not doing anything. And we're kitten. So a little bit of a clumsy finish there from Imbbe. Had the opportunity to win this one, but the King Tiger stall maybe a little bit slow. Some of the late game build decisions also questionable. And then yeah, a little bit ill-advised with the attacks. Just weren't really that well set up or executed. But yeah, good job from Haaallow. Maybe a little bit too much major artillery spam. Would have been quite nice to see the P-47s maybe at some stage while the flak panzers were dead. But you can see the strength of the Pathfinders, how good they were this game. Could see the attack coming down this side. Plenty of time to prepare for that. And that gave Haaallow a lot of confidence to get the win. GG, well played. Anyway guys, wrap on that. If you like you're going to be cast by me, details are in the video description below. Otherwise I'll catch you all for the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.